So, several things in the pipeline for the 1990s. I'll be reviewing Twister here, but I'm also working on a Beverly Hills 90210 video. Obviously, Shannon died tragically, and a lot of people are recalling Beverly Hills. I am too. It's one of my favorite shows. I grew up with the show, and I watched a lot of it, but not all of it. But damn, those early seasons were amazing. But let's get to Twister, which is it was a slight disappointment. The way it's been talked about, I was expecting something like a 9 out of 10 great classic 1990s film. And it is a classic. It is a very good film, but not the perfect kind of diamond people are talking about. Now, I know it's hard to believe, but all throughout the 1990s, and obviously you see a few things, a few scenes, some parodies. Twister was massive. It was a major film. And I did go to the theaters quite a few times. I grew up poor, right? Not super poor, I was middle class, but I managed to go to the theaters here and there. But for whatever reason, I just missed this thing. However, I was aware of it because people kept going on and on about the visual effects. And that cow flying through the air, that was everywhere in the 1990s. So if you grew up in that era, oh yeah, that cow in the air. So what is the big story? Well, again, and I'm trying to be a screenwriter and get into Hollywood, the story itself is not that impressive, but I understand what they're going for. So basically, Joe, played by Helen Hunt, has a tragedy connected to the Twister or Twisters or whatever. She has a tornado tragedy, and she was in relationship with Bill Paxton's character. And there's another Joe, a bad Joe, and the bad Joe stole something from Bill Paxton. So it's a very weird but simple mythical system where I guess Bill Paxton has to choose the good Joe over the bad Joe. It's very frontal. Like she's called Joe, he's called Jonas. Yeah, the bad guy's a white guy. Oh boy. So we know where this is going. And apparently Bill Paxton's nickname is The Extreme. Alrighty then. So this is kind of writing 101 where yeah, we're battling tornadoes, but obviously it's the deep inside inner mythology we're combating. So it's one of those pictures. But, it's done fairly well. So the story is that Joe is chasing tornadoes, as is Jonas, and Bill Paxton has to decide, will he save Joe from the tornado? Will they make love? Will their romance be resparked again? Because, see, Bill is having a fiancée who is tagging along. So will he pick Helen Hunt? Yeah, well, of course. This is no spoilers. Of course he's going to pick Helen Hunt. She looks like a goddess. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is just not very tension filled. I will say this, though. This was unexpectedly graphic. There are some scenes here which are legit scary. So, as an adult, I wasn't scared. But if you're a little young, you're like, this may not be for you. I was surprised. This is unexpectedly bloody in a few places, but it is very generic. Oh, we're facing tornadoes, and them tornadoes, do they look impressive? They look impressive enough, but I will say the visual effects, which for their time, yes, they were groundbreaking, they look really, really phony. They look really phony. Like there's this moment when a truck gets blown up. I won't ruin it. It's near the end. And I was like, that looks really fake. I don't believe that's a real truck. I don't believe those are real people. And some digital manipulation is very clever. Like one, I'll say it, the same truck gets destroyed a certain way. I can't give details. That was very impressive. Like that was like, whoa, that was very well done. But a lot of moments here are like, huh? Because again, the tornado is really spent to be the star. Like, oh man, that tornado is impressive, and it is. And I do think they do the techno babble pretty well. Like you will now know, like an F5 is not a joke. If you hear an F5 is coming at you, you get the hell away from that F5 tornado. It did what it's supposed to do. It was fun. It was amusing. It is representative of the 1990s. I think Helen Hunt is a really good actress. Bill Paxton, always love his work. But it did feel kind of, at the end of the day, a little bit empty despite the mythical, superstitious mumbo jumbo they're trying to cook up. So it's a fun film. Definitely see it. You will enjoy it. But I didn't think it was as great as people say it is. So I will give this, I think, a very generous 7.25. It is definitely a 1990s classic, but a minor classic. It's not in Batman territory. It's not Batman Forever. It's not one of those like 1990s films like, oh my God, like a Tom Hanks film you have to see before you die. It's not one of those films, but it was well done. I would still say Helen Hunt, and as good as it gets, that's much, much better, but that's me.